And our screen is not the way I thought it was going to be. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, much better. We can play. It's like a puzzle. We could actually move everyone around.
Ooh.
Could you imagine if the Brady Bunch could do that? What would it be like? I want to be next to Marsha.
Marsha's the famous one.
Yeah, exactly.
Marsha.
Exactly.
So tonight we've got one heck of a show for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about something, and we've got some guests. We're going to have them explain also what we're the main part. Yes, mystery. But more importantly, right now, before we get there, I kind of want to mention something new that we've gotten the chance to do, and a lot of people might not know about yet. We actually have our own Patreon page. So you can actually go and help support the station. Really simple. Make your contributions to it. There are different ones that you can do and get like different tiers, different levels. So
right.
Make sure you check it out. We will have the stream thing come along the bottom, but for the most part, patreon.com/TMV Cafe Radio. Okay. So, also for those that are tuning in, if you're tuning in through Facebook or YouTube, thank you. Welcome. We are wonderfully here and looking at having some more guests lined up. I think we're waiting on dates, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Tanya, technically we were going to have her tonight, but they had a tour or something, so they didn't make it. So that would be the change for next time. Not like next show, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Down the road.
Exactly. I don't have enough coffee in me right now, so I might be a little.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Yeah, oh, come
a little
on.
What?
A little.
Okay.
So, also special shout out to Carrie because today is her birthday. Yes, she is a fool. I mean, she was born on April Fool's. There you go. That's it.
Well, so was my grandfather.
Yeah. Well,
He would have been 121 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Born in 1901. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of years. If
I'm
only
not going to that. I was the youngest grandchild. So just want to let you know I was the youngest.
I wasn't thinking anything along those lines.
Yeah, but your grandfather was 120.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing. I mean, Derek, who's with us, he's like 100 and I forget 170.
I'm at least 450, but I don't look anything over.
You look good for that age. Yeah, I would never guess that.
What's that make me, a grave robber?
She came with a shovel and everything.
Yeah. Hey, I've heard about digging up true love, but wow.
The only way to get them in my trunk.
Yes.
It's not a joke when I say that she totally digs me.
Mm-hmm. Every night.
All the time.
Now I know about the stabbing.
Yes.
Oh man. So let's take a moment here. So we're gonna tell you guys who our guests are, but let's go back to something that a lot of people don't understand. So one of the things as paranormal investigators, we do get asked a lot on how do I know if my house is haunted? Right, Annie?
Right.
What do you tell them?
What do I tell them? Well, have you seen anything? First off.
Okay.
Yeah, because as I say, we see things around here. We hear things, complete sentences, voices, weird stuff appearing. Like that penny. Remember the penny I was telling you about?
Right.
things like that.
True. That's a good point. Any other things that you might tell them that might show a hint to they might have a haunting?
Well, what I I always did was the research first of the property. Go back. I'd love that part. The research, the Hall of Records, graveyards, find out if anything happened. Sort of like Steve DeShavi kind of thing that he does. So, but
Right.
you know, like bangs and stuff, they could be the plumbing, the house settling. You know, you need to check the structural things.
This is true. Yeah. And you make a good point when you talk about the history. As far as looking into it, because you want to know what kind of people might have died in the property, or is there other kind of history that follows along with it. Typically, we might know that through a haunted hotel or something, but nobody thinks about that when they go to get their house.
Mhm.
No. When we lived in Greencastle, Pennsylvania, all the weird stuff that happened, that's one time, and found the people that lived there and their names. The town had 2 cemeteries, one on each side of the main road. We went into the left-hand one, and I was driving at that time, you know, when we went in there. And I pulled up, and you know how cemeteries go, and they turn and they twist. I just stopped the car, got out, walked a few things down, and there were the people that lived in our house.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been there, of course, before. I just thought that was kind of strange.
Right.
Like they were reaching out.
EVS is a good question too, that you could ask the clients are, what activity is concerning you? And that would be another thing, because you want to hear from the individuals, the homeowners that you're going to be talking with, you know, the activity that might stand out. And so we're going to see that here in a little bit. But here's a couple of others that we can throw in there is hearing voices or someone calling your name.
Had that happen.
Right.
I've seen Tom go into the bedroom, and I wasn't Tom.
Oh, my wife has told me multiple times that she thought I was standing right there and it wasn't me.
Yeah, that happens a lot in the kitchen.
Right. But there is some explanations to some of these, and that's why I'm kind of doing these in a different order. Seeing unexplained shadows and apparitions.
Yep.
Now, remember, my first experience that I came through that really paranoid me was coming face to face with a shadow person.
Mhm.
Those things are scary.
Oh, well, especially when
I
you
haven't
somebody
seen
broke
one
into
since
your
that
house.
one time on the curtain, on the drapes.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, not that I go out and look for it, but you know, like laying in bed, looking out in the hall or whatever. No, that's been maybe a good 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. All right. How about this one? This is one that we might not constantly think of, but this actually makes a good point if you are unaware of it. Unexplained smells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Pipe smoke, cigarette smoke, perfume.
oh my God. Well, see, when we were doing the investigation on the last house, we had an unexplained body odor smell. And you know, everybody was looking around and then checking each other's underarms. It's like, hey, I showered, man. I'm clean.
Right.
But, you know, you need to know, you have to dismiss certain things to lead up to the situation, you know, because you don't want to go in and say, well, like you gave an example earlier, oh, I heard somebody walking down the hallway and they live in a pier and beam house. And as the house settles, parts of the house kind of pops underneath, which sounds like footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go in, you have to explain it. I know in some houses in the northern states, and I don't ask me which states, but they actually have the pipes coming up from the basement into the different parts of a house. So it's technically 3 floors it's going from the basement main floor to the second floor.
Right.
And when the pressure changes or the temperature changes, it rattles. And so it can be alluring or disturbing and makes you think somebody's doing something in the house.
Right.
Most of the time when you're looking in a plumbing situation, you're going to end up checking that out and saying, oh, hey, by the way, this is what it is.
Right.
So, yeah. That's another one. But the strange smells. Our guest tonight actually did have a situation with strange smells, so we'll talk about that one too. And then a couple of others, just minor ones that I could throw in there for a moment, is like doors slamming shut. We've had that with guests in the past. Lights flickering on and off. Now, when we go in with our equipment, one of the first things we check for is EMF fields. Now, remember,
Right.
I mentioned earlier that if you feel like somebody's behind you, or you kind of get that weird feeling like you're being watched or something, sometimes an EMF field, if you have some kind of, believe it or not, allergy to this, sensitivity to it, it can give you that feeling like something's there.
Yeah,
Not
like
to mention
Lucy
it can-
Halls used to call it the fear cage.
Right. And it also can make you sick to your stomach. Did you know that part?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dizzy, sick to your stomach, headache.
Yeah. And it is actually an illness to EMF fields. I heard that. I know who put it, but I heard it.
I didn't do it.
I didn't either.
So let's wrap on this next one, and then we'll talk about what our guests are experiencing. But commonly, people, when they talk about hauntings in their house and they really truly believe there is something there, they tend to suffer cold spots or sudden changes in temperatures. But our guests, Derek and Alex, can both tell you it wasn't a cold spot they dealt with, was it?
No, it was. So, you hear ghost stories and people talk about cold spots in the house, and you have for us here, and what I experienced in the past as well is, you have the temperature down in the house, and normally, it's like 70 degrees in the house, and then you feel something hot, a hot spot, something that's completely different, and you just think, well, maybe the vents are just pointed weird or something, but then you walk through the house and you realize you've never experienced anything hot there before. When you walk through that area, you get this surge of just a rush of emotion, like this feeling of just either fight or flight, or just anger or depression. And then when you walk out of it, you're fine again. It's just like the split second thing, and you just kind of notice that you're clammy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I've experienced is not something cold. It's always been something hot.
All right. Now, EV says that hot spots are just as common as cold spots, but most of the situations I've investigated dealt with cold spots. But Alex, tell us how your experience was.
Yeah. So I was asleep and I woke up, and it's not uncommon for me to wake up in the middle of the night, especially around 2 a.m. And I kind of had a dry cough. That's also been pretty normal. So I woke up, had a dry cough, drank some water, and I turned to my left, and there was a man sitting next to me on the bed, who I assumed was Derek, even though it didn't look like Derek. And he was just sitting there staring at me. Didn't say anything, and I kind of went, "Baby, what's wrong?" Because he kind of looked concerned at me. I was like, "Baby, what's wrong?" And then I reached out, and when I reached out, the man kind of disappeared from left to right. I kind of realized I was very like sweaty. Um, got up and went over to the kitchen where Derek was, and just started walking towards him. And then Derek noticed there was something wrong as well.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I come into play. So I'm extremely ADHD, so I'm always alert and about, and I'm always doing something at weird hours. So it's about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm cleaning the kitchen because I'm weird like that. And wide awake, just wide awake, just going at it, cleaning like crazy. And I see out of the corner of my eye that my wife is walking towards me. Well, she's talking, she's saying something, not really making sense in the beginning. And I take out my earbud, I get up, I ask her what she's doing, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Taco Bell? Do you want to get out of here?" And I'm just like, "Oh, that's kind of random." And then so I was like, "Well, I'm doing something right now. I can't really, I can't just stop." And she's talking in word salad now. She's using hand gestures, and her pupils are blown, like they're huge. She went from a dark room into a well lit room with all the lights on, and her pupils are huge. She's just kind of looking through me, not really looking at me, not really talking to me, just kind of speaking in random words that are hard to, to remember because it's just completely random. And so she's motioning like she's telling me something, and then I tell her, it's like, "Well, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what are you trying to tell me?" And she does pause and she waits for me to respond. And then she continues talking like she's trying to tell me something. And I'm just, at that moment, I just knew that either A, she was having a seizure of some sort, or something else was going on. So I just took her, I moved her over, and I put her onto the couch. I laid her down, and we're talking back and forth, and I'm just asking her, "Hey, baby, are you okay? Do you know where you're at? Do you know what I'm saying?" I checked her head for any kind of concussions or anything. I checked her pupils again. They were starting to respond a little bit, and there was no sign of any kind of injury or anything. Like she didn't hit her head or whatever. And took her pulse. And as I was talking to her, I just grabbed my phone, and she was able to realize that I was calling 911. So I called 911. I let them know what was going on. They got there in like 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, she was still sort of coming to, but not really there still. So paramedics come. I've got like 8 people in my front yard. I got a fire truck, an ambulance, local PD. I got everyone and their dog in my front yard. And I opened the front door. I'm like, "All right, yeah, she's in here, guys." And they're just standing there. I was like, "Get in here." And so finally, that's when they come inside. They come out, they check her out and stuff, ask a few questions, asked me about, what was going on. I told them the full story. They took her, put her in the ambulance, told me where they were taking her. I couldn't get in the ambulance because of COVID or whatever. And I was like, okay. And then they shipped her off. I show up, get the hospital. I see her there. She's moving around. She's a little bit more cognitive, and and after a while, we just take her home because they're like, "Well, we can't do anything for you," so we just take her home. I took her home. After doing that, it was a really nasty couple days, kind of violent. So there was a time where I told my wife Alex to leave the house because I knew what was going to happen next. I kept feeling these really hot spots in the house where I could reach out my arm, and my arm is all wet and clammy from the heat and the humidity, and then the other half of me is nice and cold because I kept the house at like 70 degrees, and I kept feeling these really hot spots in the house, and they kept happening, and it was sporadic. And then I could also feel from where I could retrace where she walked from the bedroom into the kitchen from these hot spots that were there. You know, it just kept feeling it. And I was like, all right, there's obviously something wrong. So that's when I reach out to EW. You know, we kind of go through that whole spiel, and it's reminiscent of what happened before. And but this was very more. It was a lot more abrupt. Like it was a lot faster moving than it was before. Before it took weeks. This was just an heavy onset, sudden thing. And
But
the thing is
I
that
would say versus the last one, Derek, this one was more violent.
this was like my wife experienced the same thing that I did whenever I first had this problem, about 10 years ago. And it was someone else going through that. I'm more numb to it now. I still tell people I don't believe in this crap, but still, I mean, when you live through it and you still have to live through it, and you're always told, well, don't recognize it, don't, give it affirmation or anything.
Mhm.
You just walk through your day. Yeah, that's great and all, but I know it's there. I can invoke it because it gets pissed off just like I do. And I did. I mean, while my wife was gone, I did poke the bear, and it was here. But,
And boy, did he.
yeah, it got bad. Like my phone, I kept trying to call EW. My phone kept dropping the call, or it got really staticky, or it sounded like EW was screaming at me or something. This really weird sounds over the phone, which I'd never had before.
Oh yeah, I remember that point. Yeah. You're like, why are you so loud? Dude, I'm not
like,
loud.
why are you screaming in the phone? Are you listening to music? Like, what are you doing?
EW likes to yell. It's all right.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, EW yells at me all the time. He beats me too. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Now,
all the time.
If I physically was there while he was doing this, he wouldn't have to worry about no entity or something. He'd have to worry about me smack him in the back of the head.
I'm pretty sure EW would have hit me in the face, knocked me out, and dragged me out of the house.
Oh yeah, he would have.
And Alex would have said it was okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, we were both saying don't do that, don't poke it. And when he's talking about me not being there, for me, I was very cognizant. Like I felt like I was there. I felt like I was, making sense. He would ask me questions like, "What's wrong?" And I'm doing the whole, I don't want to acknowledge that it's here. Let's get out of the house, and I'll tell you about what happens. What happened. And he was not. Normally, he hops on Taco Bell so fast. I thought that was my ticket out, but apparently not.
Okay, so today's go-to word is Taco Bell. Oh,
yeah, that's my go-to. That's our go-to. Like every time my wife asks me, she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Taco Bell?" It's like 1:30 in the morning or something, and I'm like, "F yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we got married. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we're going."
Alex,
she knows.
We have a question for you that came up. They wanted to know, in terms of physical features, what did the man look like?
Yeah, so he was sitting like kind of legs off the bed, but like sitting on the bed. His back was kind of towards the wall. Feet were I'm assuming on the ground, but he had like kind of shaggy hair. Like when I was trying to describe it, I used young Drake Bell. But that was my reference, which Derek then thought was a preference of mine. But he appeared kind of orangey to me, like orangey but kind of ashy. was
Interesting.
when I was like face wise. His hair was kind of blondish and like full lips. His face kind of protruded a bit, almost like I kept trying to find someone that looked like that, but I can't. Like Mick Jagger mixed with Homer Simpson, like the nose and like mouth are kind of protruding a little bit, and just kind of looking concerned.
So I would like to go ahead and say that I don't look like that at all.
You sure
All right, I'm certain. No, what she describes is something that's very icky.
Yeah.
I like to feel as though I'm good to look at. I'm pleasant to look at. What she says is something to where it's like there's a lack of blue light, and it was just more of like a rendition of what I would have been if I was a extremely overweight, deformed, gross version of myself from Jersey Shore or something. I don't know.
I love the Mick Jagger Homer Simpson cross, man. I mean,
yeah, a gross depiction of me if I was fat, gross, and
had a mullet.
Shore.
The what I saw was not like overweight or anything, just kind of average build, wearing like a black shirt or something, but like had arms, had clothes, all that stuff. Just for some reason I thought it was a concerned look too.
I can confirm that I have arms and clothes. Yep.
Okay.
Now, where your house is, was there something there before, or how was your house?
But there is a cemetery very close by, a veteran cemetery very close by.
There is. Yeah, but this is not. So when I go to a cemetery, I know what it feels like. I numb myself to it, and I have for over a decade. But I know what that feels like. This is not that. It felt very familiar. Familiar as in I've seen it before. So, well, not just seen it. You can't really see it. Like I can't see it. I don't see it. You know. I've had a medium before in the past, a psychic / medium come by the house before a decade ago, and they saw it. I can't see it. I can feel it. I can feel the outline. But that's about it. It's like if you could just retrace the temperature around it. It's odd. It's weird. It's like if you were to sit down on a chair after someone sat down in the same spot. You feel where they sat. You know.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that with just like a 3D version of it with your body there. Like you felt someone there before. It's like almost like standing in an elevator. You feel the heat around you.
Right. Do you remember? This is a comment of somebody who never knew any of this stuff before.
The portal thing. That was mentioned before on the first time. So yes, that was. So I was told. So I had the investigative team come out before.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have an intermission here in a little bit because I have something I have to do, and then I'll come back and tell the story. But there was a time where that does come into play, and that the story unfolds better. There's a whole history there, and it's so weird of how it is so similar, but instead of me being the one affected first, it was someone else. But yeah, before it was a lot of toxicity, a lot of anger, living in a household where there's just, there was, just a lot of anger, a lot of animosity, and it just kept festering, and it made it so much worse. And then the person that came out, they experienced something so horrible that they themselves were drenched in sweat by the time we were done. So it's not like this is a one-off kind of thing. And I'm numb to it now because I've dealt with it for so long. Right now, like I can poke the bear and laugh at it, whatever.
Which you're not gonna do.
No, I did that the other day. I'm not looking to do it again. I was so tired. I didn't sleep for 2 days. It's a real thing. Like this was a real. I don't believe in this crap, but it's a real thing, and that's kind of I'm in the middle. But I'm thinking maybe we'll take a quick intermission. You guys do your thing for a bit, and then I'll come back and we'll dive into the nitty-gritty details because it gets really dark. Right. It gets really bad after this. So
yeah. So okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a nice little musical break for a moment instead of hitting our fight or flight moment like we normally do. Tonight we're gonna give you what TMV Cafe is all about: the music, the independent artist. So take a moment, go get yourself some coffee or whatever, smoke them if you got them, and we'll come back. We'll talk some more with our guest and show you, in a sense, you get a chance because we got Miss Annie here also being able to ask the questions, and I asked a lot of the questions already. So that's why I'm kind of
tons.
Yeah. So this will be how an investigator does talk to that. Yeah, Taco Bell run. There you go.
Sounds good to me.
All right, folks. So here is King Fab's Safe and Sound. Yeah, so that is King Fabs, and Safe and Sound is the name of the song. And we do have it posted in the links below, so you can go and check them out and let them know you heard their music on TMV Cafe Radio. We have our guest who will be back short, in a brief moment, and Miss Pam will be back too. Annie, up to this point, what do you think?
Okay, this sounds stupid, but the way she's describing him, maybe she could get a sketch artist to draw him. Maybe somebody knows who this guy is.
Very good point. I think I was going to say, I totally agree with that. I didn't even think about that. And we can ask her about that once they are back. But I mean, I know they have to do is unmute their mic, and I'll know so I can bring them in. But the idea of thinking that someone, well, let me back it up. When we go with matrixing, our first idea is to see the face. We have to put a face with whatever is happening. This is normal. This is a common thing because that's what we associate our communication with somebody else.
But this doesn't sound like that. I mean, if she wakes up in the middle of the night and sees this guy sitting in bed, and it's not her husband, that's scary.
Yeah, but then the events after, how it was almost like I don't want to say it was a possession. But the way it's described kind of sounds a little bit like a possession.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't know. I don't want to claim that. I don't want to say that because, I mean, for them to be able to.
Yeah, that's kind of an extreme thing, but something was definitely going on.
Right. Yeah, this would be one of those situations where what's going on, and the extreme part. Now we did hear from them. Derek starting to explain the portal situation, which happened 10 years ago.
Oh, good.
Well, how long have they lived in this house?
They haven't. Derek dealt with this issue at another location in another state.
It followed them?
Bingo.
Oh, shoot.
Dang.
Then he definitely has an attachment.
Right.
So, where did it come from?
Where did it come from is a very good question.
Okay, so when did it start? Yeah, well, I know I got a half ton of questions, but
right.
When did it start? What happened that, not saying that he's at fault, but something brought it on? Right.
Well, and again, I know they're not back. I popped them up just in case they pop in when. These are really good questions, and what I do know from the first situation, he had a girlfriend at the time. Now, him and his wife now have been married for I think 2 years. He can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but the girl that he knew 10 years ago, she was a little dark and weird.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just putting this out here. What if she cursed him?
Well, I'm hoping no is the case, but even if we were to say something like that, by now with some of the people we did get him help with, that should be gone, I would think.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So Evie, I'm sorry. I have to explain this to you. The very first time, I was the person he called. Mm-hmm. The second time, I was the first person he called. So in both situations, there are some things that are identical that we could connect the two together, except for in this last round, what happened to his poor wife was not normal. That was beyond that. And instead of a cold spot, I got a hair that's like right across here and it's driving me nuts. Instead of dealing with cold spot, they were seriously dealing with heat. And I'm not talking like, just it's kind of warm. I was on the phone with him and he started busting into a sweat because it was that hot.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So at this particular point, the only thing I did not ask, which we should ask, is there any remodeling or something going on within the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that usually can stir stuff up.
Right. For it to randomly appear or pop up like that, this is a question that we should have asked in the first place. And it's the one that I failed to ask. I didn't even think about that because I was more concerned about their well-being than anything else.
Right.
Now, maybe it's in not, I don't know whether he said he physically saw this or not, the person, or does he see it in his mind? And maybe they both need to have somebody sit down in different rooms and draw this person.
Yeah.
If it's the same person, then
Right.
If it's two different things, maybe it is the portal.
I don't recall him saying he did see anything like that.
Think he said
I don't think he. Well, we'll double check.
Okay.
We'll definitely double check when they get back. But yeah. Well, other than energy drain, as of right now, that was it. And, I did what I could from my end as far as like prayer chains and stuff to help the situation and bring a good peace to it. Also, I need to explain that I have reached out trying to find teams in Phoenix, Arizona that can go and help them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it very clear and put it out there. None have contacted them, including PAPS.
Really?
And I have emailed PAPS multiple times and nothing. They have not reached out, which is kind of disappointing because if you're supposed to be, the people that are helping, you should be doing that.
Right. Okay. God bless TAPS. I mean, I love these guys. I've watched them from the get-go. But the thing is, okay, they can come in there and say, yeah, you got a problem. What do they do about it?
Right.
Fine. Well, yeah, gosh darn, I know I got a problem. But how do I deal with it? How do I get rid of it?
Right. But I'm not talking about TAPS, TAPS.
Well, okay.
I'm talking about.
Okay, well, let me put it this way: all these people that would come in. You see them all the time on different TV shows.
Yeah, well,
and this one you got a problem. Well,
this one you would see on a TV show. The Phoenix, Arizona Paranormal Society (PAPS) have been featured multiple times on TV shows, My Haunted House, Paranormal Witness, and oh my God, a show that we've actually interviewed on the station more than once. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So we do know we have some associations with this team. The fact is, let's take a moment, Annie, and what's the first thing you should have on your website that if somebody's looking for help?
How to get in touch with them for one thing.
Right. Look, I'm not knocking the team. They're a good team. I've seen what they can do, but they have no contact information. And then when you do find it, which I did find it in there, it says that they will not answer or return calls to anyone outside of their area code. And they specify their area codes. I'm not going to bring that up. I don't need to.
Right.
The point is when you're a team that is there to help, and apparently the only team in this area, we need to be able to contact you. We need to be able to get help for families in need.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's why I said PAPS, because they are PAPS.
Oh.
Not TAPS.
Right.
Oh, well, I thought you were saying TAPS.
No. But TAPS is going to probably get a call from me soon to see if they have some local team, because we're not getting any other teams to answer.
Yeah.
Well, what about the two that when we were talking earlier this evening? Those two people.
No.
Give me a moment to remember. My brain's fried. You know what I'm doing.
Well, yeah. Well, it's on,
Yeah, that's where I'm going right now. I think one of them we discussed, and I said, "Oh, those two. I don't know. I don't know where they're located. It's been a while since I've actually reached out to one of them."
Yeah, the last one.
Uh-huh.
God, he is such a wonderful man.
Yeah, but you know why I haven't reached out to him.
Because of that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I talked to him a few months ago, but that was about my daughter's friend's cousin was in a bad accident.
Right. And he's a great, he honestly, I would love to, but he's in the Baltimore area.
Yeah, I know. Well,
yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't say like the other team did.
Well, you don't know with him, because I have seen him on a show that it was not Baltimore. It was somewhere California, maybe? I'm trying to remember. It hadn't been that long, but my brain.
Right. Yeah. And the other guy is retired in NYPD, but I don't remember where he resides at.
He's in New York, I think.
Okay.
Who would know? Jimmy.
Yeah. See, now Jimmy is who I should have reached out to. Jimmy would have been the other one, the only other person I didn't reach. Oh, what about No, what is it? Not Mama Margie. What's her name? Maggie.
No, don't. I wouldn't even do Maggie right now, because they got a lot going on. Be My Maggie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got a lot going on with stuff. I'll have to tell you about that later.
Okay.
But
well, for the most part, what we see here is a lot of situations that fall into the unexplained, and is literally what we would call, no pun intended because of the case, would be a hot spot for paranormal.
Right.
Okay, yeah. They said, well, think about it like this. Private message. Think about it like this. Hotspot, because if there's something in there, if there's some kind of event happening that they can physically catch, that's what the whole goal of investigating is to show the evidence of it, then they would have literally would have something that they could come back with to show. What kind of evidence is a whole nother story. I mean, and for those that are new to paranormal things, we have EVPs, electronic voice phenomenons. We mentioned EMFs earlier, which are electromagnetic fields, usually found strongest around breaker boxes or, maybe faulty wiring or something. And this happens a lot. There is I have to mention the controversial one.
Now, I have seen not like round orbs, but like light bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that picture I sent you of our Christmas tree when we lived in Greencastle.
I remember that
Yeah.
one. That was an interesting one. Yep.
Yep. We got some down from downstairs in our basement that have those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have. I don't know. I
Oh.
mean, go ahead.
Wait a minute. What is her name? Oh. Hang on. I'm going to send you a message.
Okay.
Okay.
We have multiple things that could be questionable to events that would be, you know, unexplainable
Right.
or actual hauntings, Um, in the case of this one, I honestly have to say there has to be something because of an event that did not come to its full term for today. And, in that, because of that, it tells me, oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think you were the contact for that, though, weren't you?
I'll talk to her and see if she's doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you would be the contact for her. I just saw that we're not friends, so I'm gonna do that. Add her as a friend.
I think she was on with Tanya.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Paranormal investigative teams are a close-knit family in a sense. There's some who don't want to associate with each other because whatever reasons, and then there's some that they bend over backwards to help each other.
Right.
And that's what we try to do in the same case. We want to have those teams to be able to reach out and help. So I reached out to quite a few different teams from all over the nation asking, hey, do you have a team in this area? And, sadly, the only one that kept coming up was the PAPS team, the PA.
Right.
There's got to be something else out there.
Yeah, but we've been reaching out, and I will keep messaging them until I find somebody else that can do it. But yeah, so I know Derek's back.
Oh, there we go. I'm back now.
Okay, and do we have Alex back as well?
No, I think she's here. I think a little bit. Yeah, she's listening in.
Okay, because there was a question about earlier if she might be able to go to a sketch artist and maybe have a sketch artist draw up this person.
Yeah, I mean, it was from what I understand, it was pretty vivid for her.
I think it would be doable. I think that would be pretty cool, honestly.
I think that would probably be the best thing. And Derek, did you say you see him but not actually see him?
I don't see him. It's not for me. It's not a him. It's a they. It's
it.
It's there is no gender associated with it. It's more of a feeling. It's just a feeling that there's something there. So the dark part of this, which will happen whenever I talk about it next, is the hard part. It's not you can't think of it as a he or they or them or a she. It's something else. It's a feeling. It's not you don't feel that.
It's not pride. It's just a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't. You only feel entity. You don't feel, The best way to put it is that with normal interaction with people, you feel their presence, you feel
Their
them.
essence, yeah.
Yeah, and then with this, it's something. It feels old, and you try to conform to the way they're trying to communicate, and you don't really know they're trying to communicate at first. It's just more of just a presence. They just show up, and you're confused. The first thing you feel is confusion.
Hmm.
You're displaced because you don't interact with this, every day, and you. I mean, for me, it's not a feeling of. It's it's really hard to explain. So, uh, like if you go out to anywhere where there's a bunch of people,
Hmm.
you interact with them, you talk and stuff. There's that general interaction. Um, but you can do that on more of just a verbal level. You're just talking with them. It's not something that you feel. You don't feel anything towards them unless you're just really sensitive. You just kind of know they're there. You know who they are. They talk about themselves and whatever. But with this, it's just more of it's there, and you're trying to differentiate what they're trying to tell you or what they're trying to emotion, and it's really difficult. It is really difficult, and there are times where it feels like it's getting agitated because it's trying to say something, and that really leads into the first time that this all happened, like when it first all started. Um, that's when it got violent. That's when it got really really bad. This time around, it was more controllable because I feel like I'm more numb to it. So I've had to deal with this for a long time, um, and I'm quite frankly just exhausted with it. But um, the first time around, it was just feeding off of emotion. Um, but yeah, there is no he, she, they, them, whatever. There's no strict identity. It's like a third level. It's like you just know it's there. You can feel it's there, and it's trying to say something, and you just try to communicate the best you can, unless you're deathly afraid, in which case then you run away in fear. But I'm
Now,
the one. I'm the one asshole who doesn't do that.
when the person was there 10 years ago, could
Yes.
they ever figure out what this thing wanted?
Yes. Yeah. I was in a very toxic relationship. There was a lot of animosity there, not from my side, and um, I knew one night that whatever was there hated my current significant other at that time,
Hmm.
and it just kind of begs the story. Just kind of if I went through the story, maybe it would make sense if we have time for that.
No, go. I mean, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'm
Go for
plugged in, so I don't have to worry about battery life.
Okay.
Yeah, that's up to you
Well,
guys. If you want to go,
I'll
roll it.
I'll start from the beginning then.
Okay.
Okay.
From what I can remember. So I remember, I was 22 and, or actually 21 going on 22. It's about 10 years ago. And I had my significant other. She moved in with me and stuff. Um, and it was just kind of like it was just little things. At first, it was just like these random pockets of just feeling oddly distressed in one room and then feeling just fine in another room. And I was so busy with work that, I just chalked it up to me being anxious about jumping on a plane to flying out to Utah or San Francisco. Maybe
Hmm.
it was, and jumping forward, things started happening. So I noticed that it was like my clothes and stuff would be untouched. Her clothes and stuff would be moved around the room sometimes. And I just thought that it was just, maybe she just had a long night or something. Because I'd be gone for 2 weeks at a time. Maybe she just, whatever. She had a drunken night or something. I don't know. And being young and stupid, I didn't really pay attention to it. And then it got to the point where when I would come home, there would be like this weird, like humid, like a really, really just humid and just awful feeling walking in the door. Like it was like, it's really hard to explain. You just smell the humidity. You just smell like this, like if you're in a crypt or something. Like it smelled gross. So I thought it had a plumbing problem. So I called the plumber out there. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with the plumbing. Okay, great. So I left it alone. And then one day I was going to go out somewhere and I noticed that my keys were missing. Well, I'm extremely OCD when it comes to my keys and my wallet. I put them in one place all the time without question.
Right.
And they're missing. They're both my wallet and my keys are just gone. So I look through the house. I find my keys in the laundry room, and I find my wallet in the kitchen, which is really weird because I put them right next to my computer desk. They both go next to my keyboard on the left side always. But that wasn't the case. So I just thought maybe I was too tired or something. So I just ignored that. A couple weeks go by. I start noticing that other things are going missing. I'm having issues with just remembering time. Normally I can tell what time it is within 20 minutes, but now I'm losing hours at a time. I think I'm going crazy. So I go to the doctor. They tell me that I have what could be adult ADHD. They put the weird thing on my head with a bunch of electrodes and all this other stuff, and they do all these tests and whatever. And I was actually part of a adult ADHD clinical trial testing whatever over there in Plano, Texas. You can look it up. And they were like, yeah, I mean, you're suffering from adult ADHD. I was like, okay, great. So they put me on medication. Now I'm hyper-focusing. I'm hyper-focusing because of the medication. And now I'm starting to notice more stuff. So I'm starting to notice this one time when I walked in the door. So I just came in from Salt Lake City. And when I walked into the door, there was these scooting feet marks. Like if you're to like drag your feet, just kind of scoot them, across the carpet. It went in a exact straight line from the front door all the way to my computer.
Oh.
And what is weird is that it was a straight line, and my girlfriend at the time she didn't touch my computer. She didn't go anywhere near it. Most of the time she was out of the house. If I wasn't at the house, she would stay at her parents' house or something. Most of the time it'd be dormant. Well, I remember that night. So that night that I noticed it, it was a little bit before my birthday. It was June 6th, and my birthday's on June 8th. And I had noticed that when I woke up in the middle of the night, I went into the living room. I checked a couple things for work, and then I went to bed. And then I woke up around 7, and then I noticed that all the cabinet doors, all the drawers, everything was open. Everything was open. Nothing was displaced, just open. I thought that was really weird. I thought maybe my girlfriend at the time was messing with me. So I just kind of, I have the same birthday as this other person, this Sarah. So I thought it was just kind of this weird thing. I left it alone. The next night, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had been working really late, and I'd been really mad at work stuff. Like I was just really pissed off,
Right.
and I was livid. Like I was livid because everything had gone wrong, and I had to work really late. And I was just pissed. I was just effing pissed, and I remember walking next to the TV. So we had this big 72-inch, flat screen LED TV that I never got to watch because I always had to work, and I always kept it pristine. Like I'm extremely OCD with that. I cleaned it like every week, and I noticed there was part of a handprint, just part of one. It was just kind of the palm part.
Right.
And I was like, okay, great. So someone's touched the TV. Awesome. So I go over, grab some Windex, go over there, just wipe it down, whatever, in a stupor. And then I come back and I'm about to make myself breakfast because I got to wake up in the morning. And I notice that there is a full handprint with condensation around the fingers. It's a full handprint on the TV. That's when I started to get freaked out. I was like, I just cleaned that. I didn't touch the TV. I just cleaned it. And that's when I started noticing other things were kind of weird. Well, what I decided to do was that morning, me and my girlfriend at the time, I took her out of the house. Her and I spent the entire day out in the town. I got us a hotel room, and we watched movies all night and stuff. We went to bed. We're not in the house. When we came back, all of her stuff, everything that was hers, was thrown in the middle of the room. Everything of hers was just flipped. Even her pillow on the bed was flipped in the middle of the room. Her side of the bed was flipped. My side was just fine. All of my stuff, even my shoes in the closet, were untouched. Everything was just thrown through the house. It looked like we had been ransacked. So I called the police. Police comes out. Plano PD comes out. I file a report. It's like someone broke into my house. Well, they did an investigation. Nothing had been, no one, had broken in the doors. None of the windows were broken. Nothing else had happened. It was really strange, and nothing was taken. Everything was accounted for. But now, when I look at the TV, the handprint is still there. And I'm thinking, okay, great. Awesome. So whatever the hell just happened is really freaking me out. That's when I call EW. I call EW, and he's like, well, maybe we need to send a team over there. I was like, I don't know. We just got here. I don't have to deal with all this crap. I just want to have a good night of sleep. Well, that night, we talk a bit about it. That night, my girlfriend at the time wakes up in the middle of the night, shakes me awake, and she looks at me. And then she says, I saw something outside. The eyes were red. And that when she looked at me, my eyes were black. And that for at least a few minutes, she was talking to me and my eyes were black. And then when I blinked, my eyes were normal again. And then I was then making sense. Before that, I was just talking word salad. Like I was just saying random things. Wasn't making any sense. So then that's when she got super freaked out. And I was like, okay. So then, later that day, I called EW again. We had the team come out. And when they came out, they were really nice. Like they were like, hey, we're here to, it was within just a few days. Like just within a few days, I had a team out there and they're like, all right, we're here. We're going to take some measurements. We're going to, check for EMF or whatever, and whatever doohickeys they had. All their instruments, just walking in the door, went crazy. Which they said, maybe just being so close together, that was the cause. And this is about maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's starting to get dark outside. Well, when it gets dark outside was when it got really bad. And we had a psychic / medium there. And as soon as she walked in the door, she said, "There's something really bad here." And I was like, okay, great, awesome. Me, just trying to be skeptical, just trying not to look too much into it, And so their little doohickeys are making all kinds of weird sounds. I got one guy telling me there's hot spots in the apartment. I was like, yeah, I know that. I can feel them. I put my arm out. It's like, look, there's a hot spot right here. I can feel it. And the the medium, the psychic lady is like, well, okay, well, take me to the area where something last happened. And I took her to the bedroom area. And before she had her eyes closed, and she had me walk her into the room. So she had her eyes closed. I walk her into the room, and immediately, once she goes over the threshold, she's like, it feels hot. It's like, well, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, it's effing hot in here. It's like super hot. It feels almost like a wind tunnel, but no wind. It feels hot, just heat hot, like you're being hit by a heat gun or something. And she's like, there's something very evil here. I can't be in here right now. I gotta move. So I take her to the living room area. And she starts telling me these things. She's telling me these things that I'd never said before. And she's like, the entity that is here is very, very angry. It is extremely pissed off. The negative energy that is in this household right now is just intoxicating for that entity. And it is not going to stop. It is only going to get worse. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, great. So a few hours go by. Like they do their whole investigative thing. I feel like things are getting worse, but I think that maybe it's like hysteria. Maybe it's just mass hysteria. Maybe we're just all experiencing the same thing because we're all talking about it, whatever. I would like to premise this with, I'm an atheist and I don't believe in this crap. But what sucks is that it was happening. And so she tells me one of two things. She's like, all right, look, you have two options. Either you can get out now or you can stay. I can't stay here any longer. I need to leave. I suggest you do the same. That's when her and the team packed up. She gave the signal, like whatever signal it was, and they got out of there like within 5 minutes. They were all packed up and moved and got out of here, and they sped down the road. And I was thinking, okay, great. So I was there, and my girlfriend at the time is still there too, and the night goes on, and I'm starting to notice these weird things around the house that are still happening. And then there was this one moment of, I wasn't lucid. So from what I can tell, from what I heard, so from what other people had told me, from what EW told me, and from what my girlfriend at the time told me, we were sitting outside, I was smoking a cigarette, and I just stopped, put the cigarette out, looked to her, and said, we need to leave. And we need to leave right now. So we did. So then we leave the apartment. We never went back. We had movers come by, grab all of her stuff. We went to an extended stay until we can find a new apartment. In that extended stay, that's when I talked with, the medium again. Talked to them over the phone, and I noticed that there was a hot spot in the room with us because it just felt excruciatingly hot. Like it was just overwhelmingly hot. Like it felt like pure anger, just hatred, just the way that you just that anger you feel inside, the primal side. It just felt so bad, and I could feel it. And then after that, we went somewhere else, left that area, and then moved to a whole new apartment after that. But yeah, that was the beginning of it, and some really horrible stuff happened in between that. It's not my story to tell, but other things happen to other people that are very horrible. This was a very bad experience. This was the worst it's ever been. What it is right now is, I guess, manageable, but it's still reminiscent of what I experienced before, and it's the same thing. I can recognize it, and that's my story.
Did this start suddenly? I mean, just like kind of out of the blue?
Yeah, this was very sudden. This time, yes. Before, it was a long time coming. I had all the warning signs. This was all of a sudden, just one night it kicked in.
Well, have you been doing any remodeling or anything around the house?
Yeah, I've been redoing the floors. I've been working in the backyard. You know, we've been planting stuff. We've been redoing the house. Yeah, we've been doing that. But it's not the house settling. No, I know what that
No,
sounds.
no. We're not calling it a house settling. Commonly, when you start remodeling in a house, if there is any kind of something in the house, the remodel tends to activate it. It's like the switch.
The change.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the one question I forgot to ask when you and I spoke the other night about all this. And so it is something that will spark any team's interest because they know then this is a trigger point.
Okay.
So where is the current remodel happening at?
It's in the flooring. It's the floor.
What room?
It's in the living room.
The living room.
And Alex, you said you experienced it in the bedroom.
Right. And the floor has been getting remodeled since maybe November, October. We're very slow. It's us.
It's been slow.
Then I can't say it's that.
Yeah, it's not.
So what I can say is that soon, hopefully soon, we'll have a new addition to the family. That's all I'll say. And that has become more prominent. So, with this, it was just more of like it didn't feel like a full on. What I had before was like a full on attack. Like that was like that that hurt people. Like that, it like legitimately hurt people. And that's again, I don't believe in this crap. You know, whoever's listening, I don't believe in this crap, so don't come after me anymore. But it hurt people, not just me, but other people as well. And it's not something that I like to mess with, even though I poked the bear the other day.
Right.
And it made it very apparent. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing, just very apparent. I'm not psychotic, against popular belief, but it was very reminiscent. It felt like old times. It was like if you were to, reminisce with one of your buddies, but in a very horrible, crappy way.
Kind of sounds like it's jealous.
Yeah, that was what the medium said, is that the entity is jealous of me being with someone else, and that was it was a form of jealousy. That's exactly right. I was hoping that they would be here today, but they cannot be, and with
Right.
good reason,
Yeah.
because of this situation.
Well,
This is a yeah.
well, good news is, as you began to remind me of the situation, I do not remember 100% the team. I think I know which team it was.
It
And
was William and John and something else, I think.
yeah, but,
There was the
but
camera guy. There was the dude that had the little fancy doodads. I don't know, dude.
right.
It's
But
10 years
You
ago.
guys.
the team
The
itself,
doodads.
The
The team-
doohickeys.
yeah,
The
medium-
Yes.
the medium is not who we thought it was. As you reminded me of that, I remembered right away. The medium is not who we thought it was.
What?
Yeah, it's not that individual.
Oh, so who was the person that came to my house?
I don't recall because who are you again?
All right, Alzheimer's. No, oh no, I get it now. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it
Yes,
wasn't.
no,
I think
it
it was.
wasn't.
I think
was
it
the
was
other-
connected with Pairanormal's or one of their original teams.
Our first investigative team.
Yes.
He who shall not be named.
No, I
Welcome
need
to-
no, shall not be named. Shall not.
Yeah.
But I need to get in contact with them.
Right.
There's no way. Sadly,
Are we talking, EW? Are we talking about the same
No.
person?
no. We'll talk
they're-
about that off the air.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Not that person.
Oh,
They're-
okay.
Are
but-
they no longer with us? Is that's
No, the abilities of contacting them are no more. They've all moved on to different states and what have you. So there's no. In other words, that team no longer exists. Period. They broke up and they're no longer a team.
Yeah.
So if and again, that's a Texas team. What
Yeah.
we need is a team that's in
Arizona.
The new area.
yeah, and I'd rather have a new team involved in this anyways, because what you need is another fresh set of eyes.
I want fresh ears.
it-
Fresh
it-
ears.
Exactly.
I don't care about their eyes. I want their ears. No, I mean it doesn't matter if they can see or not. I don't care. But
Right.
the hearing part is really important, because that being muy importante, it's kind of this whole thing. Yeah, you
Right.
don't always see everything, but you
Right.
can hear it.
Derek, let me ask you something. Prior to the one 10 years ago, have you had any other experience? Anything
Once,
that happened weird prior
yes,
to this
but
one?
I ignore it. I ignore it as much as I can, the best of my ability.
So how long have you been having these feelings? I'm not talking about where you're living now. I'm not talking about when you lived 10 years ago. Did you have anything before that?
Anything before that, yes, absolutely.
Have you ever thought about maybe that you're a medium or psychic or open to this because they're flocking to you?
I've been told that I'm an empath, and I would like to not be one.
Well, I would not like not to be one either, but unfortunately, yeah, that happens. But I was just wondering if, okay, I'm gonna like channel the Sixth Sense, like Haley Joe Osment. Things that would
Okay.
happen, and they just wanted to have somebody to talk to help them.
Well,
I've had someone talk to me before. The one that helped me in the first time, they helped me quite a bit, and they helped make things make sense, and I get it. But my thing is that the more I pay attention to it, the more that I use it, the worse things get. But if I ignore it, then maybe I can go the rest of my life without having to deal with this anymore. Maybe. And if this only happens every 10 years, then at least I get a decade of just not having to deal with that crap. But no, I've been in a room and I can tell what everyone's feeling. I can feel it just by looking at them or just by being next to them. I get what it is. And I block it out because I don't want that. I don't want whatever this is. I don't care.
It's exhausting. It really
It is exhausting. The other day, I was on energy drinks, 5-hour energy, and a steroid. And then by the time I got done talking about all the other crap that was going on, I was so exhausted that I slept for 11 hours. And that's weird for me. Normally I sleep about 3 or 4 hours, and then I'm like awake intermittently, and then I'll sleep for another couple hours or something. Normally I wake up at around 3 or 3:30 in the morning or something and be up for an hour. I'm so tired of this. I thought it was social anxiety, and so I just ignored it. And I ignore it now, and I don't care for it, and it sucks. And I don't want it anymore. If someone else wants it, great. If there's a way to give it to them, awesome. But I don't want to deal with this anymore. It is exhausting.
And that's why we want to find you a team that's in your area that we can help.
Well, God love them, because it's going to really suck for them too.
Well, my favorite part is that he keeps saying he's atheist, and that sure gives you a new thing to believe about, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm an atheist because I am too pissed off the fact that this is happening. I didn't ask for this. I want it to go away. And I'm not crazy either. I've been psychologically evaluated my entire life. So no, I there's no other explanation. So yes, I get the whole whatever religion thing and all the whatever. But all I know is that this stuff pisses me off on a weekly basis, and I'm trying to ignore it, and I want it to go away. And I'm trying to do what you guys say to do, and I'm open-minded as much as I can be, but at the same time, it feels like I'm influenced by it. So now I have to be level-headed. It's very confusing. And
well, the good news is
deteriorating.
Huh?
It's deteriorating. It's
diminishing. Yeah. Well, the good news is you've got Alex there that will be able to smack you in the back of the head and say, dude, stop poking the bear.
Right.
She keeps me sane.
Right.
As long as I don't leave him to his own devices.
Exactly. Exactly. So we can now say you have a whole different, how can we put it?
Perspective.
No, a whole new control that we don't have to. Yep, when he goes to poke the bear, we got somebody who's going to take him, club him, and drag him out like a caveman.
If I've ever done anything right in my life, if I've ever done one thing right, it was meeting Alex, asking her to marry me, and if I was ever lucky enough to win the lottery, is whenever she said yes when we got married. I'll put it that way.
That's so sweet.
Oh.
And now they're
adorable. The third proposal was at Taco Bell.
It was, yeah. We have pictures. I mean, I proposed to her multiple times in multiple areas just to embarrass her, and it just came out to be really funny. But yeah, no, I knew I wanted to marry her. I mean, it was apparent,
right?
I mean, I couldn't be with anyone else. I mean, Alex is the only one on this planet that could be like, okay, yeah, he's crazy, but he's my kind of crazy, and that's okay.
And yet, I'm still friends with you. How?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't even know why you like me. I say horrible stuff.
And that's the end of the show today.
Tell Stella I love her.
Yeah.
Tell her I said hi.
I do need to mention, folks, for those that have stuck around with us this far, thank you. Last week's show was deleted, not by us, but by YouTube.
By who?
By YouTube, because of a comment that was in the chat room that we addressed on the air, and apparently they nailed us for it. And
Why?
I could tell you off the air. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, I saw that guys think, but
just vaguely, it was due to a vaccination thing, and we won't go any further with that.
We leave it there.
So we'll leave it there. That's where we drop the anchor. So that's
somebody needs to be vaccinated for stupidity.
No.
Careful, because what they do is they put.
It's like keywords.
Yeah.
Oh, for crap's sake! Kiss my butt.
No.
I can say much worse, but I was told by everyone, especially W, not to be a potty mouth. But no, I have choice words. But as it stands, there are words and things and phrases and stuff and topics we cannot talk about. That is one of them. So as it stands, we will just keep it there. But AW, go ahead.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, if you do want to still see that show, go follow us on Facebook. Pairanormal has the show still there, and TMV Cafe. So, it is technically still floating around, and I do have a copy of it on my computer.
Mention the Patreon.
I was just getting there. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube page, but also support TMV Cafe. Go to the Patreon page and get a chance at something that's really, really cool, folks. I want to show this. He tells me I can only do it for so long, but I'm doing it for longer. Why? Because I can.
You're the
check it out. Right now, we only have 3 supporter packages. All right. $5. We'll give you a nice little mention on the wall.
We'll give you what?
A mention like, "Hey, thank you for supporting." So we'll on the website, we're gonna have a wall of all our supporters. Next one will get that mention, but also get mentioned right here on the live streams, on the air, and here. But here's the one that a lot of people might really love. Get a 30 minutes to sit down with just me and ask questions that you want. Learn about the ins and outs of radio and what it's like to be in a presidential seat for a business. This is a really cool deal. Plus, of course, you get all the other wonderful stuff that goes with it. And we have more that we're going to be adding over time, but this is where we're starting. So really simple. Go to patreon.com/TMV Cafe and give us some love.
Yeah, I mean, one of the coolest things that I get to do is that I get to talk to EW as much as I want to, and for $30, you get to ask him all the questions you want. And EW's been on the radio for almost 20 years now, or something crazy like that, like 2 decades. This guy has been just absolutely killing it whenever it comes to, over the air, just, commentary and conversations. He helps with, pretty much anyone that ever comes on the line. Like I didn't even expect to be able to have, airtime tonight, but he made it happen. So, I mean, he's a really interesting guy. The whole team is. Annie is, Wolfie is, everybody here on the team is extremely interesting, lovely to talk to. So, if you have a few minutes, if you want to spend half an hour to be able to talk to some of the most amazing people I've ever met, definitely go for that. I can't endorse it anymore. It's. I mean, I get to do it for free, but I also donate as well because, it's just it's really nice to be able to see from both sides of the perspective.
Right.
it is a paradigm, and I love the community here.
Speaking of paradigm,
Oh, so speaking of paradigm, yeah, I don't really have I don't have a plug for you, and I won't do that for this show. But I am Derek Carr. I am the CTO of Paradigm IT Network. We are multinational. We deal with small businesses and medium-sized businesses, and also corporate-sized businesses as well. We just started dealing with government contracts. We deal with the end-to-end IT development whenever it comes to just my computer won't turn on to I need some type of API, and we have all these other technologies to work with. We deal with I think we have about 13 different international companies right now that we deal with. We have about 37 to 48 developers on hand at any given time. We mainly deal with US and Canada, but we can also deal with other areas as well. I'll go through the whole list. But if you have any development or IT needs, if you have a problem and you need a solution, you have a question and you want an answer, we are here to help you. And we are Paradigm IT Network.
dun, dun, dun.
I did that off the cuff, so but that is us. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do. That's our company. We do that every day. We're doing it right now. In fact, right after this, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But we could have one more fun. I'm gonna do a plug that's a shameless plug. I'm sorry, I can
Go
do
for it. I would
But
rather you.
if you got Kindle, you can get a copy of the Crime Scene Confidential, the slasher, if you like murder mysteries, for only
I'm buying
99 cents.
Who
I'm
wrote
buying the
that?
paperback. I'm getting the paperback.
I'm
I'm already
really?
buying it. Yeah, I'm already buying the paperback.
I bought the paperback.
Yeah, but I'm buying it. I'm buying it right now.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like
Um,
paper. I mean, my daughter got me that Kindle. It sits
Yeah.
here.
Dude,
Yeah, but I like the book.
I like books. I like to feel the paper.
Yeah, I'm
You can get that
I'm
too.
literally buying the book right now. I mean, if we could share my screen, I'm on Amazon. I'm buying the book. I figured if you were going to plug it, I would go ahead and buy it because
Right.
it's either we do it now or
Right.
Did you get the other book?
EW.
Which other
Yeah.
book? I haven't put the new ones out yet. I'm going to be working and finish them soon. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'm actually really going to do it. But I need to go back because Paradigm has a question. They want a business link for Paradigm.
Oh, okay. So we are ParadigmITNetwork.com, and I will post the link in just a second here.
As soon as I get it, I'll give it to the chat room. There we go. Copy link. And
Our contact us goes directly to our IT team. Also, our phone number as well contacts me directly. So as soon as you call in, no matter any day or time, you can email us, you can call us, and we will get back with you as soon as possible. It's about 7:40 my time right now. It's a little bit late, but if I see your ticket come through and you do have a problem, I'll be up for the next couple hours, and I will be able to get back with you.
Right. And I can tell you that I have referred them to other clients in the past and I got nothing but great reviews from every one of them. So definitely, if you have computer issues and stuff, they're the people to contact. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Everybody got quiet.
No, I was actually just logging into work as I was saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm checking work emails and all this other stuff too. So sorry, I got silent.
For those who don't know, San Antonio has started Fiesta. For 2 years, we've been dealing with COVID and nobody's been able to do it. And now, since restrictions are let up, Fiesta has begun, and this is going to be about 2 weeks of an amazing time. So if you ever do travel down to San Antonio or are planning on doing it within the next 2 weeks, that's something you're going to want to enjoy. NIOSA, which is Night in Old San Antonio, is a wonderful event. They have so many other things that happens, from parades to foods, and I mean, you name it. It's just amazing. So, and it literally shuts down a big portion of downtown.
Fun.
It's huge. So really, really good. And the reason I want to brag about that for just a brief moment, one of our artists that's on the station, the music's playing on the station, is Paul Salos. He was the gentleman that competed in, was it America's Got Talent? Yeah, AGT. So America's Got Talent. He finished in the top 6. He's the man who can sing exactly like Frank Sinatra.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Oh,
Yeah,
he's fabulous.
Yes. Well, some time ago, when Fiesta was going on, he actually got booked at a Italian restaurant here in San Antonio during the parades. These are 2 events that people usually shut down the whole town for and go to. And so if you book something during that time, you kind of get nothing. He sold out both events.
Oh, wow.
During the parades. So it is an amazing thing to see stuff like this happen. But the idea is it shows you how much people love the entertainment, especially here in San Antonio. So
Right.
it might rival South by Southwest, but not in the extent of music and movies, but more in the extent of fun. So
What's is it about?
okay, that's a good question.
You know what? I think, well, we weren't supposed to go anywhere tomorrow. I feel like Taco Bell.
I know,
What is
right?
the
Now
Taco Bell order?
We don't have one around. I mean, we do, but the last time he and I went there, the girls behind the counter got into a fist fight, tried to choke each other, pulled her weave off.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, so I haven't been back to that one.
What website was that on?
No, it's where we went.
dinner and entertainment.
Right?
Yeah, really, truly. But so then the other one's like maybe 20 miles away.
Right.
So
We got one right around the corner.
I mean, my go-to Taco Bell order is 2 Doritos Locos tacos, 2 normal tacos, crunchy tacos with chicken quesadilla, a nacho bel grande with meat and cheese only, with extra meat and extra cheese.
all at one time.
All at one time. Yeah.
Dude, not even.
He orders the whole menu basically.
I'm
as long as
hungry.
there's no sour cream, he just orders the whole thing.
Well, yeah,
I'm
I
hungry.
mean, you can always. We did that. I think we did that last week. We got the big thing plus, and it's like, okay, I got lunch. Now I don't have to fix dinner. We had it for lunch the next day,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was
I mean,
like $20.
So I remember when my order used to cost $20, and that was outrageous. That was about that was more than 10 years ago. Now my order costs more like $30, and I'm thinking, wow, that's.
Gotta get those cheesy potatoes.
I'm a
They
fat
don't sell those
after I
anymore.
get done ordering. I
You're a
can't.
growing child.
I can't. I'm a growing child. I'm 31
Dude,
years
I
old. I'm
remember-
still growing.
I remember.
You're
Hear that,
still
EW? I'm a growing child.
Yeah, you are.
Heard it here first.
I remember hitting Jack in the Box and
Oh, I
yeah.
love
tacos for $1. Yeah, buddy.
Dude,
We used to have one
Arby's.
here.
Going to Arby's. Oh my god.
We don't have an Arby's, unfortunately.
You're gonna talk about the. You're gonna talk about the potato cakes,
Dude, yes. And then like
and then
over
they
there at
took them
Arby's,
away.
man, me and my buddy, whenever my wife and I lived in Tennessee, my buddy and I would go out to Arby's at like 2:00 in the morning. After a night of drinking and playing pool for like 4 hours, go to Arby's and eat ourselves into a coma
Right?
and fall asleep either somewhere nearby or at his house. Yeah, that was a great night. I mean, we either darts or playing pool and Arby's. That was our thing.
Yep.
And the Arby's sauce was all over everything.
Oh yeah.
I could do some hurting on some of those beef and cheddars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
I would get
gosh.
2 of those and just drench it with
Onions,
Arby's
horsey
sauce.
sauce, and
Yeah.
Arby's sauce.
Yes, there
That's
you go.
heaven.
See, Annie knows. Annie knows.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. I love the French dips, man. Those.
Oh, God.
Oh, you know what? I
See-
haven't gotten up there, but when we go up that way next time, we're going to stop at Arby's and I'm getting friendship, but a beef and cheddar to take home.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So currently, they have the 2 fish, crispy fish sandwiches for $6. And
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to like them, but they're really good. They're
Yeah.
very good.
See, what's funny is that my friend Anthony, he's French. He was actually born in France and he came to the U.S. So when he would get the French dip, I would just look at him and go ho 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 ho, and he would get so mad. And then he beat me at pool for like 3 rounds, and I'd be down $50. So yeah, it was a great time for all of us.
Now, I can mention a place that Derek would still remember, and that was Ginger Brown's.
Yeah, that was down in that was where
What
was
is that? It's over by Lake Worth, but it starts with a J. I forgot the name of the town.
I forget of it. Yeah, and the other guy, the intern dude, the one with the yellow car. What's his face?
Yeah, James.
James. Yeah, James was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you forget James, Derek?
I'm sorry, but I'm terrible with names. I'm good with renditions. I'm terrible with names.
How did you
That's
remember
okay.
mine?
I mean,
How did you even remember all of us?
I
Right?
remember you, Pam, Wolfie. I mean, EW. I remember you. You know, like, I remember that. I mean, you guys have been part of my life for like the past, how many years now? Over 10 years?
16 years.
16 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfie, I remember the first time that we met. Yeah, I remember all of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I
old.
remember.
I can blame
Yeah,
that.
you still look younger than I do. I mean, hell, EW, you've got like no gray hair. You got a great
Never.
beard, but I do. I mean, I got a
I
great
have
beard, but also
all-
I got salt and pepper in my hair. I've got, I'll send you a picture.
You need to go take a bath if you got salt and pepper in your hair.
No. I'm going gray, dude. I started going gray whenever we met. I'll put it that way.
He didn't get it.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't get
It
it.
went
Yeah,
above his
yeah,
head.
yeah, plane overhead. Yeah, you got salt and pepper in your hair. You go take a shower.
Hey,
No,
it's
I got
been
it.
so
I
well
got it.
so.
I got it, but I just drove over it. It's fine. Right now, I'm doing 90 miles an hour. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Well-
It's good old times. I feel like we should do another show where we just kind of talk about the past, kind of bring that up.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh man, could you imagine putting all those people in here and doing
yeah,
that?
and we get Wilson in here too, dude.
Dude,
That would be one hell of a show.
oh,
It
would.
would.
I
We
guarantee you.
I'd be the topic. Reswell.
Yeah, no, we got to get Scott in here too.
Oh God, no! Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Calvin,
Tiger, get
Calvin,
Tiger in here.
Randy.
We get Tiger. We got Wolfie. We got EW. I mean, I get Wilson in here. Estalaron. Yeah. I mean, it'd be one
If
hell
we
of a
could get,
show.
I mean, Fatty, Calvin, Randy.
You know Fatty?
Yeah.
You still talk to Fatty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah.
No! I'm trying not to yell too loud. Yeah, I would love to talk to Fatty again. You need to.
So you
Wow.
you probably remember.
I've been missing everyone. I've been missing everyone.
Well, Lou. I don't know if you remember Lou.
I remember Lou. Yes.
Yeah, we still talk with Lou.
Lulu.
Yeah.
What about Death Dealers? He's still around?
Death Dealer?
You know, it's been a while since I've talked to him. No, wait, Death Dealer wasn't that?
He's not the devil. He was the little kid. He was kind of the adolescent one. The little a-hole for a while, but he turned out to be really
you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard from him in a while, but he's still on Pam's and Scott's.
He's a cool kid. He turned out to be a really cool kid, which I knew he would. But
do you remember? You remember Thad Garage?
Yeah.
We still talk with him too.
Nice. We should definitely do a stream where we're just all talking together, just bring up old times.
Yeah,
I mean, how else are we gonna live it, dude? Unless I just yell it loud enough. If I just yell at you guys loud enough, maybe we'll do it.
Yeah,
like old times.
Annie, this would be a show if we actually pulled that off. This would be a show that you would probably be crying in tears, laughing.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff.
Okay, go to the bathroom first. No drinking.
Yes, exactly.
Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom twice. Don't. I mean, and then come back with popcorn because it's going to be one hell of a show.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got stories to last for hours with that. If we could get everyone here, that would be amazing.
Could you imagine if we could still find those sound bites of that one? Jeez.
If we could still do like the text to speech stuff that I did in Ventrilo with the Duke Nukem stuff, that would still be funny. I mean,
no, that would be
pretty derogatory. It was pretty derogatory, but it was still funny.
That would be danger.
That'd be TVMA.
Yeah. This show,
You're gonna have to ask your parents before you listen to this.
Yeah. We'll have to put 18 and over.
No, he's right. It would be TVMA, mature audiences only.
Yeah.
Because boy, did some of those conversations get dirty.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but they were funny as hell.
Yeah, they were. I won't deny that. So
when you think of Dane Cook on steroids, basically.
Oh God.
If you actually wanted to laugh, that would be the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody tried at one time to compare it to what's that shock jock's name again? I forgot his name.
Howard Stern.
Yeah, tried to compare it to Howard Stern.
Oh yeah.
I think
Howard, he's too calm.
Yeah, well, that's what we said. Howard Stern would look like he belonged on Sesame Street compared to the stuff we talked about.
I grew up watching Sesame Street and Howard Stern, so yeah. I mean, I get loud and crazy. So
yeah, it was some of the stuff was pretty wild, but
yeah.
On that note, don't forget to go over to our Patreon site, support the station, and tell everyone to go there too. And we're going to head out of here. So thank you, Derek and Alex, for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
I'll be laying in bed tonight thinking, I should have asked this. I should have asked that.
Well, we'll talk more later. Have a few questions. We'll talk later, of course.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I can get you through EW.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And of course, can't forget about Miss Annie and Pam over there.
Yay.
Thank you, guys.
I will be. Hi, Pam.
And on that note,
it's good to see you again. I'm so glad that you were here tonight.
I
feel like a fanboy.